Okay, you ready? You're born ready. Okay. Hi guys, what's up? So this is Henna. Welcome back to my channel Chit Chats with Henna Wilson. So I am back with another medical school related kind of video. But today's a very special day for our channel because I have my first guest featuring on my channel. This is Annex. He is my older brother. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Annex. Like she said, I'm her older brother and I'm a third year medical student at Imperial College in London.
Okay, so he also has a YouTube channel. Do you want to promote yourself? Go on.
Yeah, if you've got any nerds out there who really love reading fantasy books and just books in general, then I have a channel where I do 10, 15, sometimes 20-minute discussions on books, where I give you recommendations on stuff you can read, or if you've already read the book, then we can talk in-depth discussions of a variety of fantasy books and some non-fantasy as well. So,
Okay, I'll link his channel down below. As you know, I am going to be a medical student. I'm going to be starting at the University of Leeds in about 4 days. So I thought we would do like a Q&A video where future medical student asks current medical students some questions that people usually have. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so let's start with question numero uno. Okay, so my first question for you is, what was the thing that you're most excited about starting medical school, and did it live up to the expectation?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The first thing I was excited about is the cadaver dissection. And this might sound a bit morbid or weird, but like really that's the one thing that sets apart medicine from anything else, like any other course, because the biology and chemistry and physics and all that stuff we do at A levels, but cadaver dissections, that's something you can only do in medicine. No other course lets you cut up a whole human being like that. So yeah, even if it's a bit weird, that was like the one thing, because I felt like that was what made you a medical student. That was like the initiation step into it.
Yeah, so did it live up to the expectation?
Kind of. The first couple days were like pretty cool. You know, when you make that first incision and it all feels a bit unreal. And then it kind of just becomes standard, really. It just becomes another 2-hour class that you have to go to once a week. And and then it gets kind of tiring when you're just doing the nitty-gritty work, and sometimes you just don't even show up. But at first it's definitely very exciting.
At Leeds, obviously, because everything's online, I'm not even sure if it can happen in real life.
Yeah, that would suck. That sucks.
Yeah, cadavers, at least for the first semester anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that is actually one thing that I'm really looking forward to in going into medical school. I'm also looking forward to just have the whole hospital experience.
Because at Imperial, they for us definitely they did a very traditional course, a bit like they do at Oxford and Cambridge.
Because you guys are Oxford and Cambridge rejects.
We're not Oxford rejects, it's not true. But yeah, so first 2 years was pretty much entirely lectures for us. So we're actually also going to be starting clinical work this year. So we're going to do clinical work at the same time.
Yeah.
Very annoying and also very exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. Okay, question number 2. What was the hardest thing about starting medical school?
The course load. Like, it really hits you in the face. I've heard someone describe it as, imagine you have a fire hose and it's like shoved into your face and you have to drink all the water at once. It's just impossible. I remember like the first week of lectures, I felt like in that first week of classes we did as much as we do in like a term of biology levels.
Wow, that's intense.
So yeah, it was that really surprised me, and I don't think I got over that surprise for the whole of the first year.
Well, really?
Yeah, it's a
lot.
Yeah, that first year is a lot. Some people get used to it faster than others. It took me a while to just realize that this isn't A-levels. There's a lot more work involved.
Yeah,
in this.
This is medicine. You're learning about the whole human body.
So
how did you like deal with the workload? Like, I know you didn't do so well doing it in first year, but you definitely did very well in second year. So how did you manage the workload?
I think first year, because I was used to doing sort of just normal level of revision for A-levels. So first year was a bit tough. I tried to just read the lectures, didn't help. I tried to just just go to the lectures and just read my notes, that didn't help. But yeah, flashcards is life. Anki, I will preach Anki's benefits for the rest of my life.
Anki is God.
Whoever invented Anki should win a Nobel Prize. Whoever invented, he's a legend. Because it's just spaced repetition, and active recall, which that just drills that information to your head. So yeah, that's how you learn medicine. Anki. I don't know how anyone learns medicine without Anki.
Yeah, because it does use the two most effective revision methods.
Yeah.
Which is active recall and spaced repetition.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I feel like I'll be relying a lot on Anki as well. But the only thing with Anki, even though everybody knows it's like the most effective revision tool, it's just the fact that like obviously you have to make your cards. Yeah, so like with you had people in the older years make your cards. Yeah, so you just use them, but
pretty much. I mean, it depends from medical school to medical school, but when you start and then you find society. For us, it's Muslim medics. If you're going to Imperial, if you're starting, then join Muslim medics. They're the best. But every university has its own sort of society that helps with all the academic stuff. So find them, and then they'll point you in the direction of notes. Like, you're not the first year in that uni to do medicine, unless you are. So, there'll be loads of years ahead of you
like
who made all the
resources,
notes. Yeah, I mean, the older years made all the notes and left it behind, and there'll be that one person in like 5th year who's made the best notes that everyone after they've been using it. So
yeah, so I'm definitely hoping there's somebody who relies on Anki who's already made all the revision cards. All I have to do is just go through them and revise them, which is a task in itself, but it
takes time. Some people prefer making their own notes, but it's just, I personally find it a waste of time.
Yeah.
When they've made it for you, why bother?
Yeah, that's true. What is the competition like in medical school? This is like something I'm scared of as well, like competition and the whole like imposter syndrome. Like that's real for me. How do you deal with that?
Let's be honest. If you're doing medicine, then you're a pretty competitive person. Like,
yeah, I agree.
This is a competitive
field.
Yeah, field. Like, this is a competitive uni course to get into. So if you're doing it, then you're a pretty competitive person. I wouldn't say everyone at uni is a snake.
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
That might be a push. I mean, it's like every uni you've got snakes. You got but it's pretty. The competition is pretty good, but it's not too much. The competition is as much as you want it to be.
Yeah.
Like, you will find people in your course who are doing far and above anything that's required of you, and they'll be doing insanely well, and you'll just look at that and think, well, I'm not doing that, so I'm failing. But you're not,
Yeah.
As long as you pass the course, you're passing. But
pass the course, you're passing. Nice.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't aim to just pass, but just passing is also fine.
Yeah.
Competition is as big as you want it to be.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, like, what about the whole imposter syndrome? Like, because I feel like that's really real. But I feel like everybody feels that, but like nobody really talks about it.
Yeah, it's definitely something nobody wants to talk about, because it's like kind of admitting that it's sort of saying, kind of admitting that you don't feel sure about your place here. I think everybody goes through it. I definitely felt like I did, when I see like other people who are doing much better at the course than I am, and I feel like, oh, am I supposed to be here? Am I good enough to compete with these people? But the thing to remember is, the university chose you. Like,
yeah, that is like the one point that I keep reminding myself as well. Yeah,
exactly, because the university has been doing this for years. They've been picking medical students for years, and they've been graduating medical students for years. So if they picked you, then you're meant to be there. And if they picked you, you met your grade, you're meant to be there. Yeah. So yeah, just remember that, and then you'll be fine.
Do you think, going on from the whole competition question, do you think competition is healthy? And how much does it affect people's mental health? Because like you said, medical students are competitive, and I feel like that is a good thing to have in general, because this field is super competitive. So if you want to be successful, you have to have that drive. But like, how much is that affecting people's mental health, do you think? And is it really worth it?
I mean, when it comes to about like competition effects on mental health, I can only talk about like my personal experience. Personally, I do better when there is a bit of competition.
Yeah, you thrive in competition.
Yeah, when there is no competition, it just feels like I'm by myself. But when there is a competition, it feels like there's a sense of like stakes to it. Even if like the other people in the competition don't feel like I'm a competitor to them, because they might be so far ahead of me. But there's like a goal, something I can work towards. So I do better with competition. I personally feel like it hasn't really had a negative effect on my mental health, but I know that like sometimes the tension and the stakes and it just becomes too much. Yeah, the pressure, it just becomes too much. So yeah, so bear that in mind. Some people do well with competition. So if you are one of those people, then good on you. But if you're not, then also don't worry, because like I said earlier, the competition is only as big as you want it to be.
Yeah. I feel like it's important to really like detach yourself from competition if it's affecting your mental health.
Yeah.
Because obviously nothing is worth your mental health. Like
Exactly.
I feel like that's something I need to like remind myself while I'm at uni. Like I need to take these things at my own pace. And at the end of the day, we will all be graduating in 5 years. Like, well, hopefully. By God's grace, we will all be graduating in 5 years. As long as we work hard, we will all be graduating in 5 years. We all will be doctors at the end. So, yeah, take things at your own pace is my advice to myself. Okay, so next question, that's like a really big one. How do you manage the whole work-life balance and like going out and things like that? Like still living your life as a 21-year-old?
What's the work-life balance?
Dude, come on.
Never heard of this
like
work-life
the
balance.
whole like you're a 21-year-old in London. I'm not just talking about people in London. I'm just saying in like university students in general. Because you see like people on other courses. I'm not saying other courses are not as hard, but you see people in other courses going out, living their best life. I mean, obviously not now because of Corona, but living their best life, and you're stuck there doing your Anki revision cards or learning anatomy. Like, how do you like manage your work-life balance?
It's kind of weird, right? But first and second year medics, and just medics in general, kind of have the reputation as like the hardest, as kind of having like, this might sound weird, but having the best work-life balance. It's definitely the case at Imperial where the other courses think of medics as like having the most fun.
Wow, really?
Which is surprising, yeah. But
yeah, I wouldn't really imagine that at Imperial, because I mean, like, no offense, I've seen the people at Imperial. I'm joking.
It's work-life balance. All right. So it's about the fact that when you're working, you have to work well. Like, study hard, study smart, not hard.
Yeah.
Right? So find the method of studying that works for you, and then just use that so that you're using your time effectively, so that you then do have time left over to go to the cinemas or go clubbing or whatever you want to do for fun. So it's about the fact, and it's also about prioritizing. So when you do need to get work done, remembering that like this is kind of important, and you do need to hand that assignment in or that lab report in, but also remembering that the fun is also important. So don't spend all your time working. Just remember to work smart, not hard.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So, yeah.
I think it's also important like to find things that like are fun for you and like make time for those things.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, make time for things that you enjoy.
Yeah, and you're at uni, there's like 100 different clubs that you can join.
Yeah,
so
societies.
Literally first week, sign up to everything, and then just figure out what you enjoy doing, carry on doing something that you're already doing, find something new, find something exciting, find something you would never thought you would do.
Yeah.
So yeah, just sign up to stuff and just make sure that there is something other than medicine that you're doing.
That's a good point. Okay, this is actually a kind of funny one. How do you deal with family and friends and relatives and stuff asking you for medical advice when like because like you're gonna be the doctor in the family, so you have that expectation to reach, but like you're a second year there, you don't know anything, so like if people come and ask you like, I have this mole on my stomach or I have this mole on my hand, what do I do? Like, how do you deal with that family asking you for medical advice?
I've had it. I wouldn't say I've had it too much, but I've had like maybe a handful of times of other than like parents asking as a joke. I've had like people asking for medical advice, which is really weird. It's not usually anything big. It's like, oh, I have a cough, what do I do? Before COVID. So before COVID, people asking, I have a cough, what do I do? Or like, I have a thing on my hand, can you take a look at this thing on my hand? And it's quite funny. It's kind of like
it's rewarding at
a certain point level. It makes you feel good because you're like, oh, this person like actually trusts me to have an answer for this.
Yeah,
it's sort of, but it's also humbling when you realize that you don't have the answer for this, and then it kind of makes you think like, what have I been doing for 2 years? But the point is, it's fine. They actually, believe it or not, they actually teach you what to do when people ask you that kind of questions.
So that's good. Yeah. They prepare you for it.
It's a surprisingly, everybody gets asked it. So the advice is just, if you're a current medical student, you don't know. The advice is, if someone asks you, just say, I don't know. But if you're worried about it, then go see your GP.
That's like one line. The first thing that I feel like that's the first thing they teach you in medical school, isn't it? Never to give out advice on things you're not really sure about.
No, the first thing they teach you is say no to cautions. Don't accept a caution. If you're caught by the police, don't accept a caution. Call your medical school. But they'll give you more details that are precious. It's surprisingly important. But yeah, it's a good feeling, but also just don't give
like
any medical
really
advice.
unprepared.
Yeah, most definitely don't know the answer, and even if you do, don't give the
Don't
answer.
give them because you're just never 100% sure. And you're just not qualified enough to
Yeah,
give them.
there is no way you're qualified.
But I feel like there's an urge in me, like the doctor in me comes out and I'm like, so this is that. But it's just, that's dangerous, isn't it?
It's a good feeling when you think you know the answer.
But you're just never 100% sure.
But you don't.
Yeah.
Just don't. Leave it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, this is a personal question.
Mhm.
How do you deal with if you have like a phobia, not a phobia of blood, but you just kind of like get anxious and when you see like blood or like wound or like things like that? How do you deal with that? Because like that's something I feel like loads of people, not maybe loads of people, but quite a few people have anxiety going into medicine. Like they love the field, they want to be doctors, but blood kind of makes them faint sometimes, you know? And that's okay. I feel like that is okay. You can still be doctors even if blood makes you feel faint.
Here's the thing. It's not normal. It's definitely not normal. Like, you know, I said at the start about the cadavers. It's not normal to see a cadaver of a human person, like a person who used to be alive and now they're just laying on a steel bed, steel sort of trolley thing. Table. I don't know what it's actually called, but that thing.
And you just have a scalpel in your hand and you're just like,
them open. You know, you're just like,
it's not natural.
you're just scoring their chest and then you take their ribcage out, and that's weird. And it's definitely not, it's definitely not a bad thing to see blood coming out of a person and be okay with it. Because, we're people. It's an evolutionary reaction to just be like, that's bad. Blood coming out of a person is bad. So having a reaction to it is not a bad thing. It's just about, coming to sort of accept that if you do have a fear of it, coming to accept that it's okay, and then you'll get over it with exposure. Like, for example, the cadaver thing, we had people in our year who were really, really not okay with seeing a cadaver, and that's fine because it's not normal to see a cadaver like that. But you keep coming to the sessions and you get used to it. Same with blood. First time I took blood, I was really nervous because I have this thing where I imagine how much it would hurt.
I think that's the thing with me as well. Like, like when I see blood in surgery, like I have seen surgeries before, and I've seen like people being cut open. Like that doesn't affect me because I know that's not hurting them. But whereas in like I'm in a situation where like somebody's hurt their hand and they need stitches, or they have a wound, or like they have burns. I just imagine myself in that situation where I'm in that much pain, and that just makes me feel like not okay.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, really. I mean, it just means you're being empathetic.
Yeah.
I've had experience of people taking blood from me and doing it really badly, like experienced, like doctors and nurses doing it badly.
We've all had really bad bruises from like,
and you know how much it hurts when they do it wrong. So for me, that first time doing it, it was just about, I don't want to mess this up because I know that it will hurt if I mess it up.
Yeah.
And I was doing it to a friend and I was like, I don't want to hurt it. But yeah, and then you just do it practice, and then as you do more and more, you get used to it. And then, yeah. And also being empathetic is a good thing because then it allows you to put yourself into the shoes of the patient and realize, when you're treating a patient who might be bleeding, you realize that, they are in pain, so you want to alleviate that pain.
Yeah.
So it just makes you a better doctor.
Yeah, I feel like exposure is key.
Yeah.
And like realizing the fact that anxiety doesn't last forever, nothing is permanent. So,
but
it kind of like spikes and then it goes down, and then the next time it will spike at a lower, and then it will go down. Yeah. So, and until it will spike again. So, that's why I keep telling myself.
That being said, if you do have a real problem with it, if you do like have an actual like anxiety attack, or if you're really stressed out about it, then do seek help because I can say all day that it'll be fine, you will get over it, but if you do feel like you might not get over it, then
help, and if it's affecting your mental health and your ability to study, definitely. Okay, so the last question for you is, what is one advice that you'll give to medical students?
Have fun. It's a long course, 5-6 years. You'll make friends from other courses who will be done and you won't even be halfway through. So have fun. Remember, like, yes, work hard. I said the course load is hard, but you have to work hard. But also, you're in university, you're away from home, you're with friends. Just make sure you enjoy yourself. Take time off, relax, don't stress too much. Take it seriously when you have to. Do the work and go to lectures and go to, not lectures if they're recorded, maybe not. But go to places.
Like, no.
Okay. Good advice here. We're giving good advice.
Yeah.
Go to lectures. If you feel the need to, go to placements, and make sure you work hard, but you'll have time off.
I feel like the important thing is remember your why. When you like lose motivation, I always but I feel like I'm going to tell myself why.
Yeah.
And like you're learning all of these facts and these random numbers and stuff because like it might be in a patient one day and you might be able to save that life. Like
Yeah.
as cliche as that sounds and cheesy as it sounds, like
Yeah.
you're doing it for your future patients.
It's when you're sitting in that 9 o'clock lecture on a Monday morning, you might not feel like it. Like
Yeah.
it's sort of, why am I doing this? Why am I watching a PowerPoint on the 15,000 molecules in the Krebs cycle? You don't care. But you know, I think it's when you do placements is when you really get it. Like we did only 3 weeks of placement in the whole 2 years so far.
Yeah.
But it was in placement, you know, when we were talking to actual patients, and you know, you're not actually curing them or anything. You're not even giving them any good advice, but you're just listening to them. And that makes a difference, and you realize, oh, if I can listen to them and make this much of a difference to their lives, and you know, then imagine how much I could do if I actually like knew something.
Yeah, and studied hard and
Yeah.
worked hard to be good.
And yeah, as that's a good feeling. So
Yeah.
yeah, have fun, study hard, and study smart,
Yeah.
and play harder.
Okay, right, so guys, that was my questions. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to comment, subscribe and share. Also, don't forget to check out his booktube channel. Is that what you guys call it?
Book,
BookTube.
yeah, it's a booktube.
Yeah,
That's
booktube
that's a
channel.
thing.
I'll leave it in the description below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, take care and bye. You have to wave. Take care and bye.